The Washington Commanders had a season last year where they felt like they could have accomplished more. The Commanders felt like they have great talent on this roster and need to find a way to get over this hump they can't get over. The Commanders want to do what they can to start competing in the NFC and the entire league, but there were going to be a few things that they needed to get done, especially in the draft, to make that happen. Last season, we watched Sam Howell have a pretty decent year as he led the league in passing yards throughout the majority of the season. Last season, he threw for 3,946 yards and 21 touchdowns, which is good numbers, but he had 21 interceptions, which is not the best at all. The Commanders needed a quarterback change to pair with Scary Terry and the rest of this offense. Washington has been looking for their franchise quarterback for years and decided this was the year to potentially have theirs. With the second pick in the 2024 draft, the Commanders selected Jayden Daniels from LSU. Coming off a Heisman win as well, Jayden Daniels is one of the top prospects in the entire draft class. He's viewed as one of the most pro-ready players in the class and could definitely start week 1 for the Commanders. Jayden is a very solid passer who can also run the ball efficiently as well. Scouts praise him for his accuracy as well and his decision making on the field. He is often compared to Lamar Jackson. However, there's a slight concern with Jayden's frame as he has a tall and thin frame. His durability was a main question asked pre-draft. During Daniels' 2 seasons at LSU, he led touchdown to interception ratio with a 27-0 on those throws. The Commanders are wanting to find success under new owner Josh Harris, so selecting a quarterback with the 2nd overall pick is a huge deal, especially if you want your team to progress into deep playoff contenders, which this team can be. They also have a new head coach, Dan Quinn, and first-time general manager, Peters, so this Commanders front office is up to a fresh start in a way. They are all going to want to find success early on in their careers, so they're going to need to put the right pieces around this team and around Jayden Daniels. Washington has had 33 starting quarterbacks since last winning a Super Bowl back in 1991. They needed to make sure they selected the right guy to help this franchise out of the slump it has been in. And like I said, the Commanders have talent as well. One thing they are going to need to do is build this offensive line up and start helping with protection for Jayden Daniels, because like I said, it's already being questioned if he will be durable enough to sustain big hits in the NFL. He was sacked 24.5% of the time when he was pressured in his 5 seasons. He went from 30.8 his first year to 20.2 last season. New general manager Adam Peters couldn't believe how good Daniels was when he finally got around to watch his tape. Since most scouts and analysts have Caleb as the best quarterback in the draft, Peters was the assistant general manager for San Francisco, so they were not needing to draft a quarterback, so it took him time to really dive into film for this year's quarterback class. Peters also says that Jayden is the best deep ball thrower in the entire draft. He said that's before he starts to run too. He is very talented with his feet, using his legs in the best times when he needs to. The Commanders had no plans on moving back in this year's draft, and they claim to have only received one offer, which didn't move the needle for them at all. It was said by the Commanders front office that when tape is on or football talk is being talked about, Jayden lights up with enthusiasm. As you can tell, he is very passionate for the game, and his passion is authentic, which is exactly what you want to see in your potential franchise quarterback. Peters heard a lot of good things being said about Daniels by former Arizona State coach Herm Edwards. He also heard some good things about him from Brandon Ayuk. Also, Kyle Shanahan put in a good word for Jayden Daniels, who Peters worked with for 7 years in the 49ers front office. It was also recognized during Daniels' college career, he would request a different pass go to get into LSU's practice facility to work out after hours. He also put together 5 a.m. workouts with his receivers. Washington's front office was impressed by his leadership in getting everyone together at that hour. This was really a main point for Peters to select Daniels, because when you see all these green flags, you can't miss out on this opportunity, especially when you need a franchise quarterback. The Commanders also having a brand new front office is a great thing for Jayden to come into, as it will be a fresh start. Jayden is ready to get into Washington and help improve this offense immediately. Jayden understands that there's so much work to now be done, but also understands with his dedication to the game, he can be a starter week 1. He knows the Commanders brought him into the franchise for a reason. He says he feels no pressure to help this franchise with their long history of struggling quarterback, but since Jayden has a great attitude and is a good leader, he will help this offense into the right direction throughout his career, especially when he becomes a starter, which I believe could be week 1. Daniels' experience and ability, as like I said, a lot of scouts said he's the most NFL ready, so there is a very high chance he'll be the week 1 starter for the Commanders. They added some veteran offensive players to this team like tight end Zach Ertz and running back Austin Eckler, who will be able to teach Daniels and help him progress in the start of his career. These were great additions to the roster, as some might say, especially Austin isn't playing at the level we all once saw. Same with Zach Ertz, but it's the truth. They are getting older, but have a ton of experience in this game and still no doubt will be able to help this offense. Zach Ertz Ertz can still be one of the better receiving tight ends in the league, so giving Daniels a weapon like that and a strong running back in the backfield is very beneficial for him, as Daniels had some great weapons last season at LSU with Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr. Kingsley likes to use a run-pass option and wants to attack down the field. Daniels liked what Kingsley had to say during their meeting so far, but also mentioned he has watched his offenses for over the past few years and has grown familiar with them. In Daniels' 23 years of life, the Commanders have only won one playoff game, which happened when he was 4 years old. Daniels is ready to lead this franchise into the fresh start they are wanting, as they cleared house and have a new owner, general manager, and head coach, also a rookie quarterback. This is a great situation for Jayden to be going into. The Commanders had their eyes set on Daniels the entire time. JJ McCarthy was the second choice, but for all the reasons I mentioned, the Commanders believe in their next franchise quarterback. Bringing in veteran players to the offense as well is a great thing for this team, but this team still has some pieces they have to develop if they want to go deep into the playoffs. This franchise in general has a bright future ahead of them. Bringing in the potential franchise quarterback to a franchise that has been needing one for years is always the best thing you can do, so I'm excited to see what the Commanders will be able to get done with this new front office and team overall. The Commanders last season finished 25th ranked offense for points per game and ranked 19th for passing yards per game. Terry McLaurin passed 1,000 receiving yards for the 4th consecutive season. He had 389 more yards than second place receiver Curtis Samuel, who is no longer a part of this team. You also have second year receiver Jahan Dotson, whose numbers wise didn't see improvement from his rookie year, but you hope with a new quarterback he will be able to improve and be a help to Terry McLaurin in the receiving game. If the Commanders are going to want to find success, they're going to need other receivers besides Terry to step up. That's why bringing in a new coach that is focused on pass run option is a great thing for this team, as Jayden is really good on his legs, and you brought in Austin Eckler in the offseason to help the run game for this team. They are going to need this offense to step up a ton, as Jayden Daniels wants to lead this team to a Super Bowl and to find success with this franchise, but it's going to take everyone to step up to be able to find consistent wins. The Commanders have great potential and have a team that can compete, so it will be interesting to see what they can get done this season. Make sure if you haven't, subscribe down below, turn on the notifications so you never miss a Commanders video or any video in general. Comment down below what you think of the Commanders season next year, and I'll see you guys in the next one.